Rams head coach Mike Martz could not be more excited about the play of his young quarterback, Mark Bulger.
Mark Bulger is really just amazing how well he's playing right now. The throws that he's making, the decisions that he's making, he's running this offense with great efficiency and confidence, and he should be confident. He's the #1 rated passer in the National Football League right now. He's 6-0 as a starter, and he has energized this entire team. In fact, he's played so well that Coach Mike Martz told us yesterday if he continues these last 2 weeks, there will be an open competition at the quarterback position between he and Kurt Warner next season. Now, he'll get some help today because Marshall Faulk is healthier than he was last week, and in the first time these two teams met, Faulk accounted for 235 yards total offense and 4 touchdowns.
And Tim, on the other side, Seattle's Matt Hasselbeck has played as well as any quarterback in the league over the last month.
No, Matt Hasselbeck, not unlike Bulger, although Hasselbeck started out last year, he was a starter, then he struggled. Dilfer came in. Dilfer replaced him early this season, but Matt Hasselbeck seems to have found his groove. He's playing with great efficiency. He's also getting some help. His offensive line is solid. They've given him some protection, and he's got 2 fine young receivers in Darrell Jackson and Corin Robinson.
All right, Sam, remember to answer today's Sprint Virtual Coach question. Which NFC teams will make the playoffs? You can vote now using PCS Vision from Sprint or log on to foxsports.com. Coming up, the Rams and the Seahawks next on Fox.
You know I'm smiling because I'm ready for football, baby. Let's go Hawks!
And Saints in a battle for the last 2 NFC playoff spots. 10-point lead for the Giants late. Saints and Bengals are tied at the 2-minute warning in Cincinnati. Falcons lead the Lions by a touchdown. Here at sold-out Seahawks Stadium. Seattle, with a record of 5-9, coming off an overtime win in Atlanta last week, has won the toss, so Jeff Wilkins will kick off for the 6-8 Rams. Rams beat Arizona on Sunday night. Kickoff taken at the 6 by James Williams. And Williams brought down back at the 19-yard line. So Matt Hasselbeck leads the Seahawks offense out for the first time. He's averaged 328 yards in the air over the last 4 games with 9 touchdowns during that span.
And I think last week in the Seahawks victory over the Falcons, Matt Hasselbeck raised his stock in the eyes of his teammates because he had the sprained foot, and he used that Brett Favre mind magic to just pretend he wasn't hurt, and he played extremely well. Offensive linemen love that.
Used to back up Brett Favre in Green Bay. Hasselbeck on first down, intended for Corin Robinson. Broken up by Travis Fisher, the rookie out of Central Florida. The men protecting Hasselbeck. Walter Jones going to his 3rd Pro Bowl. Robbie Tobeck in the middle, and Jerry Wunsch starting at right guard for the injured Floyd Wedderburn. Sean Alexander, over 1,000 yards rushing this season. Robinson and Jackson, the wideouts. 3 wide receivers set on 2nd down, and the slant is caught by Darrell Jackson for a gain of 7, setting up 3rd down and 3.
Well, Hasselbeck sees that Travis Fisher is man-to-man on Darrell Jackson, and he gives him a cushion. And so Hasselbeck goes right to Jackson and then gives him the opportunity to make a play out in the open field.
Jackson did not catch a pass in the first game against St. Louis. Game won by the Rams 37-20. 3 wide receivers set on 3rd and 3. Bobbled and then dropped by Corin Robinson.
When you're a young quarterback like Matt Hasselbeck and you're trying to keep that magic alive, your receivers have got to make this. It's a slant play. He's wide open. The timing is perfect. The ball is right in Corin Robinson's hand, and he drops it. Now, Robinson did not practice all week, and so already we've seen the effects of not practicing on Corin Robinson.
Jeff Fiegels to punt. Trey Bly back deep for the Rams. took one the distance last week, 78 yards for a touchdown against Arizona. Fair catch at the 38-yard line, setting up good field position for Mark Bulger and the St. Louis Rams. Rams have won all 6 of Bulger's starts.
The amazing story that he told us yesterday was he didn't even want to play football, and his dad, who was a backup quarterback at Notre Dame behind Joe Theismann, actually forced him to go out for football his sophomore year in high school. He played on the JV team because they said he had a great arm. He could throw the ball. He breaks his collarbone in the first game. The rest is history, right?
Central Catholic High School in Pittsburgh, same high school as Dan Marino. Went on to the University of West Virginia. On first down, it's Trunk Candidate out to the 42-yard line for a gain of 4. Up front for the Rams, John Sinclair for the injured Orlando Pace at left tackle. Only Andy McCollum has started every game at his regular position. Candidate gets the start, but we will see a lot of Marshall Faulk.
And that offensive line by the Rams has been shuffled around, but you know they're well coached because Jim Hannafin, the chief there, is the guy with his hands on the controls. One of the best.
Candidate shifting into the backfield on 2nd and 6, takes the handoff from Bulger and lost the football, but he was ruled down, and that cannot be challenged by Mike Holmgren if a player is ruled down by contact.
Well, Trunk Candidate had trouble hanging onto the football in the preseason. He fumbled it 3 times and really fell out of favor with Mike Martz. Has not seen a lot of playing time. Lamar Gordon is the guy who stepped in for the bulk of the work when Marshall Faulk has been hurt. Now in this one, it's not a fumble. You can see clearly that the ground causes it. But if you have that reputation, and Trunk Candidate got that reputation in the preseason, you don't even want to be close to fumbling.
Coming into the game, only 14 carries all season. Now 3rd down and 5. Bulger to the air for the first time, and the pass is caught for a first down in Seahawks territory by Torrey Holt for a gain of 11. Seahawks defensively ranked 30th. They are 32nd, which is last against the run. Hilliard making his 2nd start. A depleted linebacker core. Lucas, the reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He picked off Michael Vick twice last Sunday.
Did you see the great timing pass by Bulger on that 3rd down play? That's why the guy's the top-rated quarterback in the league right now.
Bulger can't find anyone. Taken down back at the 46-yard line. John Hilliard with his first career sack, and Bulger looks to be shaken up.
Well, Hilliard does a great job of coming right over the top of St. Clair.
That's Jamie Martin, Rams backup.
Watch Hilliard right here. He just battles into St. Clair, gets him off balance, off his feet, knocks him back. And Bulger gets twisted up.
Cochran and Hilliard combine on the sack as the Rams medical staff continues to work on Mark Bulger. Back in Seattle, Kurt Warner on the left, the injured Mark Bulger on the right, and Jamie Martin now in the game for the St. Louis Rams. Martin started 2 games earlier this season in his 8th season out of Weber State.
He lost both of those games.
On 2nd down and 18, nowhere to go for Candidate. Lost the football again, and this time the Seahawks have recovered.
Like I said, I'm surprised Mike Martz let Candidate have another chance after he almost lost the fumble earlier. Excellent job by the Seattle defense playing this draw. Look at the swarm. Cochran's the guy who gets there first, and I think he knocked it out. He was the first guy to mark Bulger when Bulger got injured. Right there, pops it right out.
league-leading 39th turnover committed by the St. Louis Rams.
And that is the reason, folks, why it's obvious why they are not going to the playoffs this season.
Sean Alexander looks to cut it back inside. No gain on the play. Kim Harrington on the tackle, along with Leonard Little.
And when you look at the Rams statistically, they've got the 8th rated offense, the 8th rated defense, and yet they're not going to the playoffs. And turnovers has been the reason. Now up to 39. And also the other thing has been returns for touchdowns. They've had 12 between kicks, interceptions, and fumbles returned against them for touchdowns.
And they only have one of their own. Hasselbeck with time on 2nd and 10. Complete to the fullback, Max Strong, for a gain of 4. Brought down by Travis Fisher. Setting up 3rd down and 6. As you mentioned, Tim, Rams are ranked 8th defensively. Lovie Smith, the coordinator. Leonard Little leading the way up front with 10 sacks. Thomas, first-round pick out of UCLA. Bly and Fisher, the corners. Archuleta and Herring, the safeties. 3rd down and 6. Seahawks have to get to the 33 for a first down. Good protection. Hasselbeck complete. Corin Robinson this time makes the catch and picks up the first down. A gain of 13 on the play.
Cincinnati, Kenny, beating New Orleans.
Wow.
Matt Hasselbeck beating this Rams defense again. Travis Fisher was in man-to-man coverage. Corin Robinson just running away from it. I think they're going to have to do something else. If they want to stop Corin Robinson, I think they need more than one guy in a man-to-man trail coverage.
From the 26, Hasselbeck pump fakes and then throws 2 markers as Fisher made contact with Robinson.
Now, Fisher, that's not a bad penalty for Fisher. That's actually a pretty smart veteran play by Fisher because he bites on the pump fake, and if he doesn't stop Corin Robinson, it's a touchdown.
Defense, number 22, automatic, first down.
Fisher still, man, just, lined up by himself. Here he is. He's got to cover Robinson. Watch him. He bites, and then he just grabs hold. And here's the pump fake that makes him bite up into it. And as I said, if he doesn't grab hold, Corin Robinson is wide open in the end zone.
13-yard penalty. The handoff, Alexander. And he's bottled up Ryan Pickett with the tackle. No gain on the play. Tim, the injury report on Mark Bolger, the Rams quarterback, a twisted upper back. He has gone to the locker room for x-rays. Second and 10 for the Seahawks. They are in the red zone following the fumble by Trunk Kennedy. 6 minutes in, first quarter. From the 13. Hasselbeck to the end zone. Jackson, the intended receiver, could not hang on.
Boy, another perfectly thrown pass by Matt Hasselbeck. This time it is a zone, and Jackson's going to get right into the seam there between the inside linebacker and Archuleta, and that ball is just thrown perfectly. Jackson just drops it.
And Tim, Jackson, like Robinson, did not practice all week.
That's right.
Things got so bad, the Seahawks had to use 3 defensive backs at wide receiver in practice on Wednesday. Hasselbeck to the end zone, and the tight end, Mealy, could not hang on.
Yeah, well, this one is more of a result of the defensive play by Kim Herring than it is a bad play by Mealy. This is a great play by Kim Herring. He just comes up and pounds Mealy. This is just fearless hitting. Watch him come up, wham, right there. Look at, I don't know if anybody hangs on to that football. You take that kind of hit, a shoulder right to the elbow, and I think anyone drops it. Great play by Herring to keep the Seattle Seahawks out of the end zone after the candidate fumble.
Ryan Lindell hits the 31-yard field goal, giving the Seahawks a 3-0 lead as they capitalize following the Rams turnover. Brian Lindell, 31-yard field goal, giving the Seahawks the early 3-0 lead. Lindell getting set to kick off to the former Pittsburgh Steeler Troy Edwards. There's Trunk Kennedy, whose fumble gave the Seahawks the football in St. Louis Rams territory. Short kick taken at the 15 by Edwards. Good return by Edwards out to the 42-yard line. 27 yards on the return. In the game at quarterback, Mark Bulger earlier suffered a twisted upper back and has gone in for x-rays.
Antonio Cochran hits him low, and then Hilliard hits him high, and he wrenches that upper back there. And now Marshall Faulk has come in to replace Trunk Kennedy at the running back position.
Faulk, the lone back, who has been bothered by the high ankle sprain over the last month, and gains 2 yards out to the 43.
The thing about this Seattle defense is that they are ranked last in the National Football League against the run. They've also had a lot of injuries. Anthony Simmons, you see there, he's been injured most of this season. Maybe their best defensive player. Played extremely well last week against Atlanta. Showed off his speed running down Michael Vick a couple times.
Martin on 2nd and 9. And picking up the first down into Seahawks territory is Marshall Faulk, finally brought down by Tim Terry after a gain of 11.
Well done by Marshall Faulk, and you get to see the brilliance of Marshall Faulk. The vision, the balance, the movement on that screen pass. He uses his blockers perfectly, makes a one-handed catch, picks up the first down.
Faulk's 71st reception. Only Charlie Goddard has caught more passes in the NFL this season among running backs. So the Rams in Seahawks territory from the Seattle 46. Faulk gains 3 down to the 43. Anthony Simmons with the tackle. He said he thought about Faulk every day during his off-season workouts as he attempted to get faster with the move into the NFC West.
Well, Anthony Simmons does an excellent job here. He gets low, he gets underneath the block. There's a lead blocker coming around, and he does a super job right there. Gets underneath, comes through to make this tackle. He has speed, he has athleticism, and he certainly has confidence.
Said he was motivated all off season knowing that he would have to face Faulk and the Rams twice as division rivals. 2nd down and 8. It's Faulk again, this time to the right side. Has the first down and more down to the Seahawks 33. Faulk picks up 11 more yards.
Well, I'll tell you, Heath Irwin missed the block on Simmons the last play, but he makes up for it on this play. Watch Heath Irwin come with this trap block, and he just buries the linebacker, knocks him right out of the screen, and gives Marshall Faulk plenty of space to work with.
Faulk, Tim, hobbled off to the sideline, so Lamar Gordon now in the game. Rams started with Candidate. He fumbled, went to Faulk, and now it's Gordon on 1st and 10. 3 receivers set. Martin's pass was deflected by Chad Eaton. And there's Faulk, who was selected to his 7th Pro Bowl.
And he's got that high ankle sprain that's kept him out of some games and limited in others. And there's the Atlanta final right there in the upper right-hand corner. So Atlanta keeping the pressure on the New York Giants, although New Orleans' loss, as you see there, really gives the Giants now the opportunity to control their own destiny.
It will come down to the final Sunday for those 3 teams. Martin's pass caught by Gordon. And the rookie out of North Dakota State picks up another Rams first down. A gain of 12 yards on the play.
Well, Jamie Martin showing some of the precision in this passing game. And, you know, despite the fact that the Seattle defense has struggled against the run all season, talking with Mike Martz yesterday, you know, he still wants to do what this offense is known for doing, and that is push the ball downfield. Not only push it downfield, but throw deep downfield. He wants to use Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce. That's what gets him excited. You could see his face light up when he started talking deep passes.
Martin complete to the fullback, James Hodgins. His 5th reception of the season, and it's good for a gain of 6.
One of the reasons why we've not seen a real deep pass down the sidelines to the wide receivers yet, Kenny, may be that Seattle's pretty strong at the cornerback position. Sean Springs plays at one corner, and Ken Lucas, who had 2 interceptions last week against the Falcons, has really come on this season. And not only does he play the pass well, he plays the run.
The handoff for the tight end, Ernie Conwell. And Conwell down to the 11-yard line, close to a first down. 6th time Conwell has been handed the ball this season out of the backfield.
It's just a little inside handoff to Conwell.
Stop just shy of the marker, setting up 3rd down and 1. Martin trips, gets back up, complete to Hodgins.
Well done by Hodgins.
Tim Terry.
If in fact he makes it.
It's close. Tim
Hodgins,
Terry made the tackle.
Martin trips, he gets up, does a good job of getting it out there, but Hodgins with the catch and then twists himself around. And if they do not get this on the measurement, that may be one that Mike Martz may want to review.
The chains brought across the field. And Hodgins was stopped about 1/3 of a yard short.
Well, I'll tell you, I think Mike Martz may want to take a look at that, because when you see it here, the ball should be marked where the ball is when Hodgins goes out of bounds. So he's still in bounds, and look where the ball lands. It lands in front of that orange marker there.
Not look like Mike Martz will challenge the spot, and the Rams will go for it on 4th and inches. Falk the lone back. Martin on the keeper.
I'll tell you, Anthony Simmons made him pay for it, that's for sure. It's a little hesitation quarterback sneak.
He was stopped short.
He didn't make it. He hesitates. They give him the action to make it look like he's going to turn around and hand off, and then he redirects. And Anthony Simmons comes out. That must be his 6th or 7th tackle. None bigger than this here. Watch him come up and just pounds him. I'll tell you what, though, Kenny, I really think that Hodgins made the first down on the play before. Well, they signaled first down, but now going to measure it. No, it is a first down.
A first down for the Seahawks.
I guess it was first down either way, right? I was pretty safe in that comment.
So Seattle will take over on downs after the Rams were stopped short twice.
A lot of people last week in Atlanta thought that the Seattle Seahawks, with their 4-9 record and having to travel from the West Coast to the East Coast, were just going to lie down and give the Falcons that game. And the Seahawks certainly did not do that. Despite 3 turnovers, they played well enough to beat the playoff-bound Falcons.
Also helped by a missed field goal in overtime. Back in Seattle with the Seahawks leading the Rams 3-0. And Mike Martz has decided to challenge the spot of the football, as Jamie Martin was stopped on 4th and inches according to the officials, and now Mike Carey will take a look. There's Martin, who replaced the injured Mark Bolger.
Martin 4 for 5 right now, so playing pretty efficiently. Now, you got to believe with this offense, even with the disruption they've had on the offensive line, that if you're a quarterback in the National Football League, that's a pretty good deal. I mean, step in, right? Get behind the wheel of an offense that's got Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Ernie Conwell, Marshall Faulk, even a banged up Marshall Faulk. What did Mart say to us yesterday? Even Marshall Faulk at 75% is still better than everybody else.
And you think back to Mark Bolger's decision 2 years ago when the Atlanta Falcons offered him a roster spot. He was on their practice squad for 2 weeks, but he decided he'd be better off waiting, and he knew the Rams would be interested after the season.
Well, let's take a look and see if we can get a better idea from the spot on that. Can't see it from that all 22. So, as we've said all season, you have to have indisputable visual evidence. That's where they spot it. The only thing I might say, Kenny, is that it looked to me like the ball got to that hash mark or beyond that hash mark.
I agree. I thought Martin got inside the 11-yard line.
When I saw it live, I thought that he made it. I thought that Simmons made a heck of a hit and pounds him and reacted very quickly, but I thought that the spot was behind where the ball actually went.
Rams have had 3 replay reversals so far this season.
I still say the better challenge would have been the play before.
So Mike Carey, the referee who grew up playing high school football against Mike Martz in the San Diego area. Mike Carey was a running back. Will now let us know about his decision.
After reviewing the play, there was not indisputable evidence that the spot should be changed. The ball was never visible in any of the review angles. Therefore, the ruling on the field stands. First down for Seattle. St. Louis is charged with their first team timeout.
So no indisputable visual evidence to change the spot. So the Seahawks take over with a 3-0 lead. Late first quarter. They will start from their own 11-yard line.
And what offense we've seen from the Seahawks so far hasn't been successful on the ground, but their passing game has worked well for them. Hasselbeck is only 3 of 7, but 3 of his passes were dropped. So really, he could have been 6 for 7, and a couple of those drops could have ended up right in the end zone.
From the 11, first and 10 for the Seahawks. Hasselbeck took a hit, and the ball was batted down. A couple of penalty flags.
Well, the penalty flags are going to be because the ball hits an offensive lineman.
It was an ineligible receiver.
Right. Anthony Thomas was the guy who had the pressure on Matt Hasselbeck and forced him to miss throw. I mean,
illegal touching of
Robert
a pass
Thomas
by the offense, number 71, is declined. Second down.
Pass hit Walter Jones as we check in with James Brown.
Kenny and Tim, the Tampa Bay Bucks have wrapped up the NFC South thanks to Nicholas Lucci and the Cincinnati Bengals, who completed the upset of New Orleans with that touchdown run. So the Falcons now are in the 5th playoff spot in the NFC. The Giants, thanks to that victory over the Colts, are in the 6th playoff spot, tied with New Orleans, but they own the tiebreaker. Back to Kenny Albert.
All right, thanks, JB. Hasselbeck to the fullback, Max Strong. And Strong has the first down out to the 25-yard line. A gain of 14.
Well, Matt Hasselbeck is no Michael Vick when it comes to running the football, but he has the elusiveness in the pocket. And this is what I call pocket mobility. And if you watch him here, he gets some pressure. The pocket starts to disintegrate. He gets himself outside the pocket and then finds an open receiver, sets up, and makes a nice little throw.
Back to 25.
Grant Wistrom is the one being helped off the field.
He'll be replaced by Damian Lewis on the Rams defensive line. Wistrom in his 5th season out of Nebraska.
Well, whoever plays that right end for the Rams defense has got their hands quite full with Walter Jones, the only Seahawks player to be elected to the Pro Bowl.
Alexander. Sean Alexander out to the 29-yard line. Gain of 5. Adam Archuleta made the tackle.
Well, we talked about Walter Jones, Kenny. Not only is he a good run blocker, he's a good pass blocker, he's a good run blocker. Look at him just work Lewis right outside and opens that hole up completely. And he gets great leverage. He's got great feet. He's a big man. And Bill Kohler, the defensive line coach for the Rams, we talked to him last night, and he said unequivocally, he didn't say unequivocally, but he meant unequivocally, Walter Jones is the best lineman they have, the Pro Bowl lineman, should be the Pro Bowl left tackle for the NFC.
Alexander hit for a loss by Jeff Scanina. Loss of 2 on the play.
Boy, Scanina does an excellent job. Just gets up underneath the guard, drives him back. You got to love Scanina. Compact, powerful, plays with leverage, and he never stops running to the football. That's why you see Bill Kohler right there. That's why Kohler loves him.
Did you use unequivocally in your chat with Kohler?
No.
Penalty markers on 3rd and 6.
Damian Lewis just bites on a bit of a hard count.
Encroachment, defense number 92. That's a 5-yard penalty. The enforcement results short of the line to gain. It remains 3rd down.
Instead of 3rd and 6, it will be 3rd and 1. Matt Hasselbeck has had a tremendous last 4 weeks, averaging 328 yards in the air. And he said this week the Seahawks offense has become a seamless unit. We are all on the same page. 3rd down and 1. Inside handoff to the fullback, Max Strong. And Strong picks up 4 and a Seahawks first down.
Well, they're moving the chains, and as you said, Hasselbeck said they're a seamless unit, but they've had some missed opportunities today. Nice throw here by Hasselbeck, dropped by Corn Robinson. Then Darrell Jackson drops one in the end zone, and then Mealy loses his grip on a ball in the end zone.
Seahawks scoring their points. A field goal following a front candidate fumble. Hasselbeck on first down. Nice catch made by Corn Robinson at the Rams' 42-yard line. Gain of 21 yards.
This is why the Seahawks are so excited about the talent of Corn Robinson. We kind of got on him for the drop. Rams actually shift to a cover 2 so they can put 2 men on him. And that lets Travis Fisher come up and press Robinson. So he gets the press on him, but Robinson still is able to beat the coverage with just a fabulous athletic play. He leaps up and pulls that ball down. It was beautiful.
Timeout called by the Rams. Robinson, a teammate of the Rams' Torrey Holt at North Carolina State. fact, they are the only two Wolfpack receivers to reach 1,000 yards receiving in one season. For the Seahawks, who are on the move in Rams territory. From the 42-yard line, Alexander bouncing it outside. Out of bounds at the 33-yard line after a gain of 9.
Well, Sean Alexander passed the 1,000 mark for the second time in consecutive seasons, and Mike Holmgren says that he did it by running up the middle. Holmgren does not want Alexander breaking the ball to the outside as he does here, although I got to say there was no place for him to go up the middle. And in fact, Alexander himself prefers to run north and south. He doesn't like plays that are designed to go to the outside.
Final seconds, first quarter. Alexander up the middle. Looks to have the first down as the first quarter comes to an end. The only scoring a 31-yard Ryan Lindell field goal. 3-0 Seahawks after one. Back in Seattle as we get set for the second quarter. Seahawks leading as they scored following a trunk candidate fumble. And the Rams lost quarterback Mark Bulger with a back injury.
Yeah, they lost Bulger, and that's a huge thing for Bulger because he really had a thing going. 6-0 as a starter, and then Mike Martz told us yesterday that if he continued to play as well as he played, there's going to be an open competition at the quarterback position early next season between Bulger and Kurt Warner, who's out with that broken bone in his hand.
And there is Kurt Warner, who was placed on injured reserve.
You know, one thing we should probably straighten up, because they did say on the pregame show that they kind of suggested some animosity between Mike Martz and Kurt Warner. And I spoke to Mike Martz before the game, and he said, absolutely not. Kurt Warner and he said, you know, they're fine. Everything's fine. He said Martz said he was disappointed that Kurt didn't divulge the seriousness of his injury, but he said, you know, really, in all fairness to Kurt, he may not have known how serious his injury was. And then regarding Kurt Warner's wife and the comments that she made on the radio, you know, Mike Martz said, look, you know, Kurt can't control what his wife said, and it's not a big deal. That's water under the bridge, and we'll put it behind us completely.
First and 10 for the Seahawks. Hasselbeck, complete to Jackson. Carroll Jackson out to the Rams' 9-yard line. 21-yard pass play.
And a nice catch by Darrell Jackson. He almost lost his handle on this ball here. Watch Jackson. He comes in motion, and then he's going to break all the way across the center of the field, across the two zones, and the ball is delivered perfectly. See, he almost lost his handle on it there. He takes his eyes off the ball. Watch it here. Almost loses it, and then runs through Dre Bly.
First and goal. Hasselbeck under pressure. Dumps it off to Alexander. Alexander brought down inside the 5 by Tommy Polley. Gain of 6 on the play. Second and goal upcoming. And Tim, we have just learned Mark Bulger will not return to the game. He is on his way to Harborview Medical Center for a CAT scan on his injured back.
So Jamie Martin will continue. And on the other side, Matt Hasselbeck again just doing great things with the football in the passing game. He's had excellent pressure, excellent protection. Last play they got pressure on him, and he beat the blitz.
Hasselbeck to the end zone, and Kim Herring wrapped up the intended receiver, the rookie tight end, Jeremy Stevens.
Another well-thrown ball by Hasselbeck. I don't know if Kim Herring didn't get there before the ball did or not. It looked like he might have. You can't see from that angle at all.
Tim Hasselbeck on this drive now 4 for 6, 60 yards as we take another look.
Very close. It looked like Kim Herring just made another nice play defending another tight end in the end zone.
Empty backfield on 3rd and goal, but the play is blown dead.
Delay. Offense. 5 yards. Remains 3rd down.
Seahawks took too much time and will now be forced back to the 9-yard line.
Well, Kenny, aside from the blitzes, Matt Hasselbeck has had plenty of time, and this guy here, Chris Terry, is a big part of the reason why Hasselbeck has had more and more protection. Terry was let go by the Carolina Panthers after he failed to make a court appearance involving a domestic violence incident. Mike Holmgren said he talked to him, and Mike Holmgren said he understood what happened. The kid was going to do everything he had to fix the situation. They were desperate for help there, and Terry has given them help.
Hasselbeck taken down by Tyoka Jackson, the longtime Tampa Bay Buccaneer, who had 1.5 sacks in the prior game against the Seahawks.
Well, Tyoka Jackson beats the backup guard, Jerry Wunsch, right there. He puts a spin move on him. He comes absolutely clean, and it's a really nice move there.
Jackson and Wunsch teammates the last 5 years in Tampa Bay.
That's right. I guarantee you Jackson beat Wunsch with that spin move many a day in practice.
Ryan Liddell hit from 31 earlier. This a 36-yard attempt. It just sneaks through. Liddell 2 for 2 today. Seahawks lead 6-0. Back in the Pacific Northwest, Seahawks move from the Kingdome to this open-air stadium.
What a beautiful stadium, too.
Tim, you know about all the rain they get up here? It has not rained once during any of the 8 home games the Seahawks have played this season.
No, this is a fabulous facility. Beautiful city, right?
Edwards back deep for the Rams on the 8-yard line. Edwards taken down at the 28-yard line by Willie Williams.
Early game headlines, Kerry Collins with a huge day in their win over the Indianapolis Colts. And then, as Terry Bradshaw predicted, Michael Vick exploding back onto the scene, putting the Falcons in really good playoff position.
Falcons will play in Cleveland next week as we check in on the Kansas City Chiefs with JB.
All right, Kenny and Tim, and take a look at how Kansas City upended San Diego thanks to this 38-yarder from Michael Houston. 24-22, Kansas City still alive in the playoff hunt. And Michael Vick hooking up with Villanova's Brian Finneran, 34-yard strike. And the Falcons now have the 5th playoff spot in the NFC thanks to that victory there. Back to Kenny and Tim.
Boy, JB, they make some really good football players in Villanova, don't they? Smart ones.
One by the name of Long, one by the name of Finneran. Martin dumps it off to Marshall Faulk. And he's brought down. No gain on the play. Anthony Simmons with yet another tackle for the Seahawks.
Well, this is excellent reaction by this Seahawks defense to the Rams screen pass. Now remember, the Rams did this earlier. Marshall Faulk picked up a first down. This time, Chad Eaton, who you can see right there, he sniffs it out. He gets right out there and disrupts it. And then Anthony Simmons is there to make the tackle. So really, Chad Eaton, they beat him once with the screen play. They weren't going to beat him twice.
3rd down and 3. Rams have to get to the 38 for a first down. Martin complete. First down, Torrey Holt. His 2nd catch of the day for a gain of 5 as the Rams move the chains.
And it's a classic run away from man coverage. Sean Springs with the man coverage on Torrey Holt, and Holt just runs away from it. You see Ricky Prohl tries to get his elbow out there and get a little bit of a pick on Sean Springs. And then Martin just delivers the ball. Martin's 7 for 8 right now. So playing quite efficiently in the absence of Mark Holton.
His only incomplete pass was batted down at the line by Chad Eaton. Martin intended for Falk. Reggie Tongue on the coverage.
Falk upset with himself on that one because the ball is thrown back, so Falk knows he's got to turn around, come back to the ball, and make this catch, and really it goes right through his hands. Watch it right here. Right there. That's why Marshall Falk shaking his head, upset with himself.
Now 2nd and 10 from the 39. Martin hitting Falk out of the backfield. Falk out to the 43-yard line, a gain of 4. Curtis Fuller made the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Anthony Simmons is all over the field. I mean, Fuller makes a tackle, but Simmons forces Marshall Falk to make a cut here, and that really helps Fuller make the tackle. I mean, he is just showing off his speed. I mean, he is everywhere.
Simmons, the Seahawks' top tackler the last 2 seasons, missed 9 games this year with an ankle injury, but he's back. He's come back in a big way. 3rd down and 6. Martin steps up and throws complete to a wide open Isaac Bruce. His first catch today. It's good for 18 yards.
Rams offensive line gives Jamie Martin protection and plenty of time here. He steps up just a bit in this pocket. He has a big throwing lane. And then Isaac Bruce, if you give Isaac Bruce this long, he's just going to find a spot.
Jamie Martin and Isaac Bruce were teammates with the Los Angeles Rams. But, of course, Martin has bounced around with 3 other organizations, and now he's back in St. Louis. On the delay, it's Falk. Up the middle to the 35-yard line. Gain of 3 for Marshall Falk. Came into the game with 897 rushing yards on the season. Looking for his 8th 1,000-yard campaign.
Kenny, right now, this Seattle Seahawks run defense is pretty impressive. I know Marshall Falk is playing injured with a high ankle sprain, but right now the Seahawks have held the Rams to just about 2.4 yards, exactly 2.4 yards a carry in the run game.
On 2nd and 7, 3rd catch of the day for the fullback Hodgins, who came into the game with only 4 receptions all season. Hodgins close to a first down.
But Jamie Martin, I mean, you know, we spent so much time talking and thinking about Bulger and Kurt Warner. Of course, Mike Martz talked about Covington, the 3rd quarterback, and how good he is, but Jamie Martin stepping into this offense and playing with great efficiency.
Remember, coming out of training camp, when Warner suffered his initial injury, Martin was the backup. Bulger was the 3rd-string quarterback. Bulger had to fight off Ryan Helming for that number 3 spot during training camp. Hodgins just short. So Martin was the starter when Warner was injured, and then Martin got hurt, and that gave Bulger his shot.
You know, I don't know. This is almost the same situation with Hodgins. That ball, I think he might have gotten the first down. I don't know if they want to wait until 4th down and challenge it on that. Watch this one, Kenny. Watch him right here. Watch where the ball gets to. That ball comes down right there. There's the line, and they're marking it behind the line. And he's not down really. Only his hand is down before the ball hits. And from that other view, it looked like the ball reached that hash mark. I think it's another spot that's just off by a few inches, but it's a few inches that would give the Rams a first down.
Instead, 3rd and inches, and Falk stopped initially by John Randall, and we'll see where they mark the ball after the 2nd effort by Falk.
That's Marshall. That's veteran savvy. John Randall stuffs him completely And Falk just twists out, finds a little bit of space, and picks up this first down. And he does pick up the first down.
So a tremendous second effort by Marshall Falk.
Beautiful, beautiful play by John Randall, except Falk finishes it better than Randall.
From the 29-yard line, penalty markers. I'm not sure if Troy Edwards was set. Edwards was shifting. And now Randall and Adam Timmerman in a discussion. Some extracurricular activity.
False start. Offense, number 67. And illegal snap. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Well, you know, don't forget last week, John Randall got a 15-yard penalty for interfering with the offensive signals. He likes to call hut himself to try to disrupt the offensive line.
He was called for jamming the signals in Atlanta last Sunday.
I wonder if he was the one, you have to wonder, if he was the one that caused that false start.
Martin's pass incomplete, intended for Torrey Holt.
Boy, Ken Lucas just has too good a coverage on this play. He has perfect position, and he turns to look for the ball. That's excellent. This guy is really turning into a fine cornerback.
Second-round draft pick last year out of Mississippi. I mentioned earlier the reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
Well, he made a play last week and broke on an outcut that was thrown by Michael Vick that was a breathtaking interception because that ball was thrown on the line.
On 2nd and 15, Martin throws it away. Martin in for the injured Mark Bulger, in case you joined us late. Bulger injured early in the first quarter. A twisted upper back. He is taken to Harborview Medical Center for a CAT scan on his back. So Jamie Martin has come on and completed 10 of 14.
Well, Kenny Martin misses this last one because John Randall, look at him right there. Randall with the pressure, forcing Martin to scramble, and then he loses the ball on the move.
Rams 4 for 5 on 3rd down today. Pass caught by Conwell, but he's chased down well shy of the marker by, guess who? Anthony Simmons again.
Boy. And Simmons redirected. He was actually coming up to either rush the passer or he had man coverage on the running back. And as soon as he sees that ball thrown, he just breaks for it, makes another one. 10 tackles so far today for Simmons.
And now Jeff Wilkins, who got back in Mike March's good graces last week, game-winning field goal against the Cardinals. This a 45-yard attempt, and it is good. Wilkins, the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, connects from 45, putting the Rams on the board. Goal so far, late first half, Seahawks with a 6-3 lead over the Rams here in Seattle. Jeff Wilkins hit from 45 and gets set to kick off to James Williams.
Coming into this game, you certainly thought there were going to be a lot more scoring than this and a lot more touchdowns. With the success the Rams have had in their passing game behind Bulger. Of course, Bulger hurt. And then the same thing with Hasselbeck. The last few weeks, Hasselbeck has taken this Seattle offense to almost 500 yards a game.
17-yard return by Williams out to the 25. All 4 divisions have been wrapped up in the NFC. Falcons and Giants control their own destiny. Falcons in Cleveland next week. Giants will take on the Eagles. And the Saints, who have lost 2 in a row, home for Carolina.
And how about the New Orleans Saints? Remember last year when they were in playoff position and dropped their last 4?
They've lost their last 2 to Minnesota and Cincinnati. Hasselbeck complete to Darrell Jackson out at the 30-yard line for a gain of 5.
Well, Hasselbeck is playing well, and he's operating efficiently, and his offensive line is giving him time, Kenny. When he drops back, he's not getting hit. He doesn't have people in his face. He has throwing lanes, and you see he does get rid of the ball pretty quickly, but he's just his offensive line is doing a fine job.
On 2nd and 5, here's Alexander. First down and more into Rams territory. Penalty flag. Perhaps a face mask on Dexter McCleon as he took down Alexander. A 25-yard run plus the penalty yardage.
Personal foul. Major face mask on the defense, number 21. 15 yards, automatic.
This is a huge breakdown by the Rams defense. Kim Herring comes up and doesn't force this thing. Max Strong buries him, and there's no one left there to defend the corner. And when the corner of the defense is that wide open, you know, it's just someone just made a mental error. Someone lost the force who should have had the force.
40 yards in all. 25-yard run, 15-yard penalty. From the Rams 30. Hasselbeck complete to the tight end. Stevens, touchdown.
What a perfectly thrown ball. Hasselbeck again with more protection, but he doesn't need much on this one. He just drops back a few steps.
It's in the crowd reacting, and Hasselbeck arguing because Stevens was ruled down on the 1.
Wow, I tell you, it's Stevens, that's 6'7", and just his speed is just bewildering to most safeties and linebackers to see a guy that big move that well downfield.
Seattle.
Hasselbeck calls timeout, so the coaches can take a look at the replay to perhaps challenge that Stevens reached the end zone.
I'll tell you, it was a beautifully thrown pass down the seam by Hasselbeck and a nice catch by Stevens. There are the knees down there. So far, any replays I've seen haven't been enough to overturn the call on the field.
Well, Tim, next Saturday it's a Fox NFL special beginning with America's favorite pregame show as JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy get you ready for kickoff. Then the NFC East champion Eagles take on Michael Strahan and the Giants. Coverage begins Saturday at the special start time of 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, right here on Fox. Well, the Seahawks will challenge. Mike Holmgren chatting about it with referee Mike Carey.
The runner was ruled down at the 1-yard line. It's being challenged by... Thank you.
Here's another look. The pass from Hasselbeck to the rookie tight end out of the University of Washington, Stevens.
I just didn't see anything, Kenny, that would give you that indisputable visual evidence that in fact the ball crosses the plane. You know, that one there, you can't, because you don't have the goal line in the shot. And this one here, you just can't see that ball.
If the Seahawks lose the challenge, they'll have 1st and goal on the 1.
Right.
Seahawks already leading 6-3. A look from up top.
I think that's gonna stay as it was marked on the field. Stevens is another guy that Mike Holmgren kind of made a reach on, right? I mean, Stevens had some baggage from college. He had a few incidents in college, and Mike Holmgren said he likes to, you know, talk to guys and sit down with them, talk to them, and make his own judgment. Don't just judge based on incidents that are reported in the news or secondhand or third hand. And he talked to Stevens the way he talked to Chris Terry, and decided, you know, this guy was a good guy and had some things that happened, but he was going to straighten them out and was certainly a talented player.
And the same way he talked to his students when he was a high school teacher for 12 years.
That's right. When he told us about that, he said, you know, I always give people the benefit of the doubt, and I always make my own judgments. I think you have to sit down and look people in the eye, and I think that's a good idea.
Holmgren said, I know when they're trying to con me. And he said, I don't think Chris Terry was. And as you mentioned, he would like to sign Terry to a long-term contract.
And we've been talking all game about how Matt Hasselbeck has had plenty of time to throw the ball downfield, and Chris Terry being a big part of that. And even the Rams yesterday talked to us and said, you know, the first time we played their right tackle, they didn't have Chris Terry at right tackle, and Leonard Little was just able to just mash the quarterback.
It will either be a Seahawks touchdown or 1st and goal on the 1 for Matt Hasselbeck.
After reviewing the play, the runner's knee hit outside the 1-yard line. However, there was not conclusive evidence of where the ball was at that time. Therefore, the ruling on the field stands. 1st down at the 1-yard line. Seattle is charged with their 2nd team timeout.
As you said, Tim, the evidence was not conclusive. So Stevens, who has scored 3 touchdowns in the last 4 games, does not add a 4th, at least yet.
Well, this is the area where Sean Alexander, Mike Holmgren says he lights up.
Alexander is in. Touchdown. His 14th rushing touchdown this season.
Mike Holmgren said if you look at Sean Alexander's eyes, when he gets down near the end zone, they get a little brighter. He likes to score touchdowns. Well, who doesn't?
Lost his shoe.
Yeah. Do you see the smile on his face?
Lost his left cleat.
I think everybody likes to score touchdowns, but maybe Sean Alexander likes to score them just a little bit more.
Even if he only had 1 shoe on. So it's Alexander entering the end zone for the 14th time this season. 14th rushing touchdown, has 16 in all. And Seattle extends their lead to 10 points.
Maybe Sean Alexander's smile could win him a Terry Award.
Well, the Terry Awards are coming up next week. Find out who is named Rookie of the Year, the Coach of the Year, the MVP, and many more, as our own Terry Bradshaw hands out his annual Terry Awards. The 2002 Terry Awards, a tradition unlike any other, next Sunday on the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show. And Tim, look forward to some new categories this year.
Yeah, I heard it's going to be a serious awards this year.
All of them?
I can't believe that anything Terry does is completely serious after the story he told today about being on the barn and lowering the kitten onto the cow.
And he did point out, kitten always lands on their feet, right? Never land on their back.
I never figured out the point of that story, but I had a laugh over it.
Well, the Terry Awards
I had more of a laugh when Howie said that what really happened in that barn incident was Terry fell off the barn.
Right.
Landed on his head.
That's more likely. How about Bill Parcells reportedly meeting for 5 hours with Jerry Jones this week? Could Parcells be returning to the Dallas Cowboys sidelines?
Possibly. Well, Kenny, it's the holiday season, and NFL players are like a lot of people. They like to spread good cheer, and the Seahawks had a special moment yesterday. Austin Benson from Make-A-Wish, 11-year-old honorary captain. They gave him his own locker. And then Mike Holmgren coached him up a little bit on how to run the ball, and then he got the handoff from Hasselbeck and the offensive line blocking for him all the way into the end zone.
Wearing Sean Alexander's number.
Well, he said he was going to show Sean Alexander some moves.
Nice spike.
There he was today, and all the quarterbacks
from
both
today's
sides. Game, from both sides.
Even the injured Kurt Warner and Trent Dilfer.
I'll tell you, NFL players are, you know, to me, you take the group of them, and they're amazing guys. I mean, it's very rare you find a bad penny in a collection of NFL players. You know, we talked to Grant Wistrom, and he and Jerry Wunsch, who are on opposite sides of the field today. They do a special event every year with kids who have cancer. They call it the Circle of Friends trip, where they take a group of kids up to Green Bay, let them run around Lambeau Field, and then they do some outdoor activities in the wintertime.
They had a snowball fight at Lambeau Field last year.
I got Grant Wistrom to come to upstate New York in the offseason to help me with a Make-A-Wish event.
Did you have a snowball fight with Grant?
It was in May, so the snow had just melted.
Another penalty flag on the return. Grant said, I let the kids throw snowballs at me for 15 minutes, and then I whale them right back at them.
Yeah, he said he warned them. If they throw them at him, they're going to get it back 10 times.
During the return, illegal hands to the face on the kicking team, number 54. The 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Wistrom said, I don't baby the kids. I don't treat them like they're sick, and they love it. He said, but don't worry, there's nurses there to make sure that I don't get too rough.
He said on the first night when they call home, and there's Jerry Wunsch, who's involved in the project. First night they all call home homesick when they speak with their parents. By the second night, they're having so much fun they don't want to call home.
Well, he said they're having so much fun they have to tie them to the bed and put the phone in their hand to make them talk to their parents.
Rams start from their own 42-yard line following the penalty on the return. Jamie Martin over the middle, complete. In Seahawks territory, it's Troy Edwards, and Mike Martz really likes what Edwards has developed into, replacing Oz Hakeem, who left the Rams during the offseason.
Right, and Mike Martz felt that fourth wide receiver was a missing component. Ricky Prohl is still there, the speed and the elusiveness of Azazir Hakeem that was missing from this offense. And they like, just as you see it now, they like to have 4 wide receivers out there on the field.
More markers. Troy Edwards, a guy who put up some staggering numbers at Louisiana Tech.
Snap. False start. Offense, number 81. 5 yards, first down.
Torrey Holt, a guilty Ram. Forcing St. Louis back 5 yards. It will be 1st and 15 from the Seahawks 49.
I think Mike Martz thought Terrence Wilkins was going to be that missing piece, but he has certainly fallen way out of favor with Mike Martz. He hasn't even been active now for 2 weeks.
Martin to Ricky Prohl, the former Seahawk, spent 2 seasons here in Seattle in the mid-90s. Prohl gains 2, brought down by Sean Springs.
And this incredibly talented wide receiver core, I would say that Prohl has been the glue, if nothing else, right? He's the sure-handed guy. He's the clutch guy. He doesn't have the tremendous speed and elusiveness that the other guys have, but he has a steadiness that puts him right up there with them.
Martin again complete to Edwards as we hit the 2-minute warning here in Seattle.
Well, Jamie Martin is playing pretty efficiently, Kenny, but one thing we've not seen him do, he does not have the arm strength of a Bolger or a Kurt Warner, so we've not seen the Rams push the ball down the field as much.
On 3rd and 10, pass a bit short, intended for Ricky Prohl. One thing Martin has done, Tim, he spread the ball around, hitting 8 different receivers, but Could not connect there with Kroll, and the Rams will punt.
And I think that pass there kind of exemplifies what I was just speaking about, and that is Martin's arm strength. He runs an efficient offense, and he makes a nice shorter passes, but this one here that's got to go downfield a bit, it gets a little bit of air underneath it, and Doug Evans is able to break it up.
So Mitch Berger, who grew up in British Columbia, has a busload of 80 friends and family members at the game, punting for the first time. Bobby Ingram lets it bounce. Ingram back in the lineup, missed last week's game with a toe injury. And it takes a Rams bounce all the way down to the 9-yard line. 35 yards on the punt.
Well, Kenny, again, Jamie Martin moving pretty efficiently. The reason why he's in there, though, is because of this injury right here to Mark Bolger. Sandwiched between Antonio Cochran and Hilliard. And he was taken, as you said earlier, to the hospital to have MRIs done on his upper back.
Harborview Medical Center. A twisted upper back suffered by Mark Bolger. And we will give you an updated medical report as soon as we receive it. There's Kurt Warner, who's already on injured reserve. In case you're wondering, the third-string quarterback for the Rams is now the backup as Alexander crosses the 10. Is Scott Covington, a former Cincinnati Bengal out of the University of Miami. So if anything happens to Martin, it would be Covington.
Well, Kenny, on this last play, the Rams make a defensive adjustment. You remember Sean Alexander ran this lead play before and had a big gain on it. This time here, Kim Herring comes up. See how Kim Herring, he forces that back to the inside. So Kim Herring takes the force, and he doesn't give Sean Alexander the corner. On that previous run, Herring came up underneath. Alexander had the corner and had a big gain.
Here's Alexander again, looks to bounce to the outside. Penalty marker with 58 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to say that Robert Thomas tripped. I think that may be what he's going to say. Because Robert Thomas got himself some good penetration, but he actually tripped.
Tripping. Number 55 of the defense. 10-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Watch Robert Thomas. He's going to come right up here, and he gets great penetration. He comes underneath the fullback, and watch him with his leg, right, left leg, right there. He just, and he's even had the toe hooked back towards his knee, didn't he?
You ever do that?
Oh yeah. Look, if you're down there and somebody's got your arms and the running back's there, yeah, you hold your foot out and you try to bring them down and you try to trip them. Now, if you get caught, you get caught.
You ever get caught?
No, I never got caught.
Very slick.
Well, you know that. We've been doing this how many, 7 years? See some of my moves.
What did your old coach Jerry Glanville used to say? If
you ain't cheating,
yep,
you ain't trying.
That's it. So Thomas was called for tripping. Brings the ball out to the 19-yard line.
By the way, that's not an adage that I repeat to my kids.
Hope they're not watching. Hasselbeck, wow, complete to the tight end. Mealy out across the 40, a gain of 21. And the Seahawks use their final timeout. Remember, they lost one on the challenge. 51 seconds to go.
Well, Hasselbeck has the Seahawks on a drive. The last drive they had resulted in a touchdown. Here's that run to the outside where Alexander gets the corner. Kim Herring goes underneath. And then Stevens down that same seam makes a big catch to the 1-yard line. Sean Alexander drives it in. You see the big smile and the head nod there. And the Seahawks again are on the move.
You and I both had the same thought after we met with Sean Alexander yesterday. He reminded us both so much of the Giants' Tiki Barber.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's got the same, same kind of buoyant personality and same kind of build, that really wonderful warm smile, the same shaved head.
He hosts a TV show.
Yeah, he's got a great personality, Sean Alexander. A real pleasurable guy to be around. He's bigger than Tiki Barber, though. I think because he's bigger, I think that his upside potential is even better than Tiki Barber. But you know, Mike Holmgren said it, and it's true. You know, Sean Alexander has got to go to the next level. If he's going to be a great player, he's got to take it to the next level. He's got to put that much more effort behind the great talent that he has. Preparation in the offseason really was the thing that Holmgren focused on.
A breather for Alexander from the 40. Hasselbeck to Stevens into Rams territory. Out of bounds, stopping the clock. 47 seconds remaining, and he got to the 47-yard line of St. Louis.
Oh, Hasselbeck does a nice job here. Here comes the blitz. Watch it. Here comes the pressure from the inside. And Hasselbeck just beats it and makes that timing throw to the outside. And then you get to see Stevens and the smoothness and the athleticism of that very big tight end.
3 wide receivers. Hasselbeck's pass incomplete. Looking for Corin Robinson. 44 seconds remaining. 2nd and 10 coming up. Also coming up, the Visa halftime report. Maybe Terry, Howie, and Jimmy from Los Angeles with scores and highlights and a complete breakdown of the playoff picture coming up on the Visa halftime report.
I'll tell you, that last pass was the first mental mistake that Hasselbeck made today, because he put that ball right into the hands of Dre Bly. He didn't read the coverage properly. Bly had the inside position. Hasselbeck got away with one.
The handoff to Alexander. Seattle cannot stop the clock. They do not have any timeouts remaining.
And Adam Archuleta was the Rams defender who made that tackle. He's a safety who's been playing linebacker most of this game.
Hasselbeck in trouble. He escapes and then throws incomplete. Down to 21 seconds.
And again, even though this doesn't result in a completed pass, you see Hasselbeck's pocket mobility. I mean, he's not going to scare a defense into assigning a spy on him the way defenses have done with Michael Vick, the way the Seahawks did. They put Anthony Simmons on him after watching Tampa Bay put Derek Brooks on him. But he's got that elusiveness inside the pocket.
4th down and 4. 4 wide receivers. And the play blown dead.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5 yards remains, 4th down.
Following the penalty of 4th and 9, and Mike Holmgren will send out the punter, Jeff Fiegels. You know, talking about Hasselbeck's mobility, Bill Kohler, the Rams defensive line coach, told us last night Hasselbeck makes guys miss like Jake Plummer. Punt taken at the 12 by Dre Bly. Out to the 21-yard line. 9-yard return. Well, Tim, 19 teams still alive in the NFL playoff race. There have already been a league record 22 overtime games. We've been at 5 of the 22.
Yeah, that's a record.
38 special teams touchdowns, new NFL record.
And then the attendance record, 66,566 per game. Of course, this game was sold out. That made Mike Holmgren extremely happy.
Seahawks' last 2 home games were not sold out. This one is. Rams will run out the clock in this first half, trailing the Seahawks by 10. Ryan Lindell, a pair of field goals, and Sean Alexander, a 1-yard touchdown run. Seahawks 13, Rams 3 at the half. The Visa halftime report is coming up.